Donald Trump is apparently auditioning vice presidential candidates down at Mar-a-Lago, according to a new report from Politico where they spoke to over a dozen advisors and insiders with Donald Trump. So Politico verified this with the people that are surrounding Donald Trump every single day. They have said names are being floated. People are coming down. They're talking to him. They're talking specifically about that, running with him as his running mate in 2024. And certain people are rising to the top in these so-called auditions. That is actually the word, by the way, that they did use to describe these things. They said they were auditions. One of the names is Republican Senator Tim Scott, an African-American Republican senator, the only one out there. And they think he could be a good one because, one, he's actually a very good fundraiser. He's up for re-election next year, which means if he were to run as a running mate in 2024, he's not at risk at losing that seat. So that would be a safe seat for Republicans if Scott wins in 2022. So it's a good gamble there. Also might be able to help shore up a little bit more of the African-American vote that Donald Trump sorely needs. The other name that is most obvious is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Now, Trump has been a little iffy on DeSantis recently. Thinks he's not getting enough credit for creating DeSantis. He says he created him, and he's not wrong. DeSantis ran his campaign in 2018 as a little Donald Trump. His ads were truly disgusting. If you get a chance, go through YouTube and look at some of them. They were absolutely appalling with his fawning over Donald Trump. It was like a high school kid writing, "Oh, Mrs. Donald Trump." Yeah, that's pretty much how gross it was. But either way, that creates a new problem. Because according to the U.S. Constitution, and this is super weird, but it's the way the Constitution is written, the Electoral College voters, the electors from a certain state, cannot vote for a president and vice president from the same state. Now, that would only apply to the Florida electors, which means if Trump runs in 2024 and he picks Ron DeSantis and they win the state of Florida, the electors from Florida could only vote for Trump as president, and they could not vote for Ron DeSantis. Now, all the other red states that Trump would win would be able to vote for both Trump and DeSantis, but the Constitution says, hey, Electoral College cannot vote for two candidates from the same state in that state. So, weird rule because the Electoral College is stupid and needs to be abolished. But what that could do if the election were close is mean that the Democrat vice president, who would get the votes from the blue states, could potentially surpass the 270 mark, which would mean that if Trump chose DeSantis and it was a close election, you could end up with a Republican president and a Democratic vice president. That would be weird. Politics is a joke anyway, so I think that would kind of be funny to see. But either way, Ron DeSantis has also been pissing Trump off recently. Again, because he feels like he's not getting enough credit, and because DeSantis is a very clear threat in the polls to Donald Trump. Choosing him as a running mate could negate that threat, but Trump's bitterness could rule DeSantis out. But overall, the people who spoke to Politico, these insiders, down there at Mar-a-Lago with Donald Trump, they said that he's not picking people based on gender, not based on race, not based on how they would perform in the election, not based in geographical locations that might shore up this state or that state. Nope, it's based on one thing and one thing only. Actually, that's not true. It's based on two things. One, loyalty to Donald Trump, and two, you gotta believe that the 2020 election was stolen. If you fit those criteria, you're basically in consideration to be Trump's running mate in 2024, even though Trump is not officially announced yet. We all know he's going to run. That's a given. Unless the man is in prison or not alive, he's going to run for president again. And unfortunately, based on polling right now, he stands a good chance of winning the White House again. Other names of people who would fit that criteria, you could have a Nikki Haley. Hell, you may even have a Marjorie Taylor Greene. If he doesn't end up in prison, you could have a Matt Gaetz, but then you also run into the same electoral college issue. There's a lot of people out there. Mike Pompeo is another name, by the way, mentioned by these advisors. But if you're loyal to Trump and you think the 2020 election was stolen, congratulations. You're basically in the audition queue to be his running mate in 2024.